Okay, so we'll finish off this evening just with a thought for the 3 weeks in the holiday period. It seems to be an oxymoron, really. Yesterday was Shivas B'Tammuz, we now launch ourselves into the period of the 3 weeks, which of course culminates in Tisha B'Av. And at the same time, this is the holiday season. The streets already seem a bit quieter. I've broken up from school. So how do you balance these two almost conflicting emotions, the tsar, the avelus of the 3 weeks, and yet the relaxation, the holiday period, which seems to be a time certainly for, well, not just for kids, rather than Rabbi always says, not only Tinok haberechem be'sefer, but Kerebi haberechem be'sefer. Let's take a look at the Nesiva Shalom, and I think this will give us an idea how we can balance the two. Very beautiful Nesiva Shalom. This is in the first box in paragraph 3. If you're listening online, please email me at j.golker@gmail.com. I'll send you the handout. Hine, Tachlis Briosa Shel Yehudi. The overriding mission statement, objective of every Jew, Sheyeh Dovuk B'Hashem, that he should be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He should experience Dveikus. V'zeh hoya kol inyan shel Beis Hamikdash. This really was what the Beis Hamikdash was all about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to have a residence here in this world. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to reside, to live with each and every one of us. And it was through the Beis Hamikdash that we could achieve that dveikus. How so? This heavenly light came down to the world through the Beis Hamikdash. And it was through the Beis Hamikdash, that was the conduit whereby the Or Hashem, the light, the Shechina, would then dissipate into every single individual. It would be channeled through the Beis Hamikdash, and it would end up into the neshama of every Yisrael. And therefore there would be that feeling of closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of kirvas alekim, of dveikus with Hashem, because of the existence of the Beis Hamikdash. That was the function of the Beis Hamikdash, that it would be able to sort of be a conduit of divine presence to every single Jew, and therefore we could have experienced that kirvas alekim, that closeness with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore we could be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you see that the presence of a Beis Hamikdash is really what can achieve that closeness with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and in contrast, the lack thereof is the distance we have with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The antidote, therefore, to Golus is to try and recreate that Dveikus B'Hashem. It's very difficult without a Beis Hamikdash, because the Beis Hamikdash was the conduit that did it for us. But what we can do during this period of the 3 weeks is to try and bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our lives more, because that's really what we're missing. That is the major consequence of Churban, of the lack of a Beis Hamikdash. Now, how do we bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our lives? Well, there's loads of ways. But one is, I think, perhaps the Rambam can guide us. Look at this Rambam in Hilchos Deis, Perek Gimel Halacha Gimel. Nimtza, hamahalech b'derech zu. He's talking about, in Hilchos Deis, about eating well, sleeping well, exercise, all these sort of things. Nimtza mahalech b'derech zu kol yomov, oved es Hashem tomid. He is constantly serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If a person sleeps well, exercises well, eats well, relaxes well, then he's doing that to serve Hashem, then that's part of his avodas Hashem. Even when he's asleep, if he's sleeping in order to recharge the batteries, that he's not going to get sick, because if he's sick, he can't serve Hashem properly. His sleep becomes divine service. That's really what Chazal mean, that kol masechel yishem shemayim. That if a person is eating well, sleeping well, relaxing well, that's all parts of his avodas Hashem. That's what Shlomo HaMelech says in his wisdom. Very beautiful Rambam. This finds expression in the halacha in Shulchan Aruch, an amazing halacha. The halacha, it seems to be a random halacha, but it really is exactly what the Rambam is saying. The Shulchan Aruch says, "Hachoife kever lameis pata," that if someone, Rahman al-Islam, is digging a kever for a mace, he's on the Chevra Kadisha and he's digging a kever, he is pata from saying Kriya Shema, because oisek b'mitzvah pata min mitzvah. If you're involved actively in a mitzvah, you are exempt from another mitzvah. So therefore, you're busy digging, you're part of him saying Kriya Shema. Says the Mishnah Berurah, this is astonishing. Afilu b'shas noichai. Digging is hard work. Even when you're resting or taking a breather for a minute in between the digging, v'afilu b'shas noichai ma'at shegam oz nikra dain oisik b'mitzvah. You're still considered being oisik b'mitzvah. Why? Shal yedei zeh yischazek koiche lachso v'lachbar. Because in order for me to continue digging, I've got to rest up a little bit. So therefore, the very resting is also part of your mitzvah, and you're also exempt from Kriya Shema even at that moment, because you're still actively involved in this mitzvah, even though you're resting. And therefore, I think what emerges from this concept, this Rambam, this Shulchan Aruch, is that the focus of a holiday time is, I'm recharging the batteries. They say kids never sleep, they just recharge the batteries. But that's really what it's all about. If the purpose of the holiday time is to reconnect and to recharge, then every moment of the holiday time becomes part of our Avodas Hashem. And I think on that note, I've said this before, but it's worth saying again. That really is an idea I once heard in the Shmoneh Esrei of Shabbos Mincha, that we say Ato Echad, in the beautiful tefillah of Shmoneh Esrei on Shabbos afternoon, we refer to different types of menucha, that people like to rest for different reasons. Menuchas ava and adova, to spend time with loved ones, with family, with friends. Menuchas emes ve'emunah, you want to recharge the spiritual batteries, to learn in a more relaxed way, to daven in a more relaxed, slower fashion, to recharge the spiritual batteries. Or menuchas shalom v'shalva v'hashket uvetach, the person wants to just chill out, to relax, to recharge the physical and the emotional batteries. All of those menuchas are very worthy, so long as al menuchasam yagdishu eshemecha, that all of those menuchas lead to a kiddush Hashem. So whether it's because of avon and dova, to spend time with family, with friends, with loved ones, or emes ve'emunah, to recharge the spiritual batteries, or shalom v'shalva hashket uvetach, to recharge the emotional and the physical batteries, that's fine, so long as al menuchasam yagdishu eshemecha. So I think thereby we can reconcile these two contrasting thoughts. On one hand, there's the 3 weeks, the Bein HaMetzarim, leading up to the 9 days in Tisha B'Av, which is a heavy period. But we can balance that with the holiday period, because really our avoda in the 3 weeks could be just bringing HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our lives so much more. That was the effect of the Beis HaMikdash. The lack of a Beis HaMikdash means that the Kirvas Elokim is so much more difficult. But if a person brings HaKadosh Baruch Hu into his life, even in the mundane aspects of his life, the seemingly mundane aspects of his life, then that is a way to the antidote, if you like, to Golus. That is a way of sort of saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we very much want to have that Kirvas Elokim, and ultimately we want it through there being a Beis HaMikdash. In the meantime, we'll try and bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu into our lives, and even in all aspects of our lives, even in the holiday time. And it's that yearning for the Kirvas Elokim. We're saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please build the Beis HaMikdash so that we can have true Kirvas Elokim, because that was the primary function, if you like, of the Beis HaMikdash. Wishing you all a very healthy and refreshing summer, and Miss Hashem, we should come back hearing Basuras Tovas from Eretz Yisrael, from Klal Yisrael all over.